Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal 149 based on novel. So let's start. A ray of red light was flying across the northern domain of the All-Heaven star system, and an ancient voice came from within. This is your teacher's hometown and your future home. Thinking about it now, it has been thousands of years since I returned. If it wasn't for the All-Heaven stone left by the ancestor, it wouldn't have been so easy for teacher to bring you there. There was a woman inside the ray of red light. As the woman looked at this unfamiliar star system, there wasn't any sense of belonging. The glass-looking planet is Planet Thousand Illusion. This is one of the main 5 stars in the northern domain of the All-Heaven star system. My All-Heaven star system cares a lot about bloodlines. Without the family bloodline, you won't be able to practice higher-level cultivation methods and won't receive protection from the family. From now on, aside from being my disciple, you are also my adopted daughter. Once I return to Planet Thousand Illusion, I'll cast the blood exchange ritual to change your bloodline. From then on you will no longer be called Liu Mai but Huan Mai. Do you agree? The old man's eyes were bright as he looked at the woman. He was very satisfied with his disciple and didn't want her to suffer due to some old tradition of the All-Heaven star system. Without a proper bloodline, she would have no status. Therefore, he didn't hesitate to use the rarely used bloodline exchange ritual to change her bloodline. The woman pondered. Master had already mentioned this to her on their way here. She pondered for a moment before nodding. Everything will go according to Master's will. The old man laughed and was very happy. This old man will definitely nurture you into a second-step cultivator. You'll reach beyond this old man's Nirvana Scryer cultivation level. The red light quickly flew by, leaving behind only the sound of laughter as it charged straight toward the bright Planet Thousand Illusion. The woman looked at Planet Thousand Illusion and thought in her heart, this trip to All-Heaven star system is a new life for me. Wang Lin and everything that happened on planet Suzaku are now in the past. With his talent, he probably hasn't even reached the ascendant stage yet. Also, it isn't even certain whether he can pass the life and death trial when breaking into the ascendant stage. The difference between him and me has been getting wider and wider. He is no longer qualified to be considered my opponent. Unfortunately, the special magical treasure I prepared for him no longer has any use. The woman took a deep breath as she thought about the magical treasure that she had prepared especially for Wang Lin. There was a hint of heartbreaking pain in her eyes, but that was soon masked by indifference. He is probably still on planet Suzaku. Compared to me, he is no longer on the same level. The ray of red light entered Planet Thousand Illusion and disappeared. On planet Ranyun, a large amount of celestial jades floated around Wang Lin as he slowly absorbed celestial spiritual energy. After 7 days, he opened his eyes. There was lightning moving inside his eyes, making them look very strange. After taking a large breath and devouring the remaining celestial spiritual energy, a large number of celestial jades became dust. Wang Lin seemed to notice something as he looked outside, so he stood up and walked outside. The youth under the stone was still cultivating. The youth let out 2 white strands of gas which circled around her body before gradually disappearing. She opened her eyes while looking up at the sky and muttered, "My talent isn't enough, but with diligence, I'll reach the mid-stage of nascent soul one day." Just at this moment, she suddenly frowned. A person walked toward her. This person had black hair and wore a purple robe without any ornaments. This person looked like he was only 30 years old. He looked very handsome and gave off a fierce aura, making him seem very remarkable. As he stood there, it was as if he had become one with the surroundings. It was impossible to tell the two apart. This person currently had his hands behind his back. He looked at the entrance as if he was waiting for something. Noticing the gaze of the youth under the rock, he casually looked at the youth and then no longer paid any attention to her. The youth under the rock frowned even harder. She couldn't see through this man's cultivation, but she had a feeling that this was someone she shouldn't provoke. She felt a sense of crisis coming from her soul. There was a flash of light at the entrance of one of the rooms as a person walked out. It was Wang Lin. The moment he appeared, the person wearing purple suddenly arrived. A sense of prestige and majesty came from Wang Lin. A hint of battle intent vaguely came from the man in purple, but it was forcibly suppressed by him. Aside from Wang Lin, no one else could detect it. The youth under the stone suddenly felt the surrounding climate become cold as if winter had arrived. Her heart skipped a beat and she vaguely felt like something bad was going to happen. When she saw Wang Lin come out, she immediately said, "Go back." Wang Lin was startled and looked at the youth under the stone. The youth stood up. Her large robe looked very unbalanced, but she had a serious expression on her face. In a few steps, she arrived at the control point of the formation. She urgently said, "What are you standing there for? Go back. This person is obviously here to cause trouble for you. I'm in charge of the formation here, so I'll keep you safe." As she spoke, she slapped her bag of holding and a jade appeared in her hand. Wang Lin carefully looked at the youth and said, "You're not his match." The youth frowned again. She held the jade up and said, "You don't have to worry about this. If you insist on coming out, then I'm not going to help with this matter." Wang Lin was stunned. He took 2 steps back and went back inside the formation. The youth immediately arrived before Wang Lin. She looked at the man in purple and loudly said, "Senior, this is a housing area of my Sun family. I wonder why Senior is here." The man in purple was also startled, and the battle intent completely disappeared. His eyes were filled with interest as he carefully examined the youth and smiled. "What is your name?" The youth's expression froze for a moment and she said, "Junior's name is Sun Ling." The man in purple nodded and said, "You're very dedicated to your job, good. You can leave. The person I'm looking for is the person behind you." The youth's expression changed and she said, "Senior, if he leaves the area, then Junior won't do anything. However, since he is still in the housing area, then this is Junior's responsibility." The man in purple frowned and coldly looked at the youth. Then his gaze went past the youth and landed on Wang Lin. One gaze caused Sun Ling's body to tremble. She suddenly felt like the person standing before her was not a cultivator but an ancient beast. That gaze was like a warning. If she said any more or didn't move out of the way, she would be torn apart by that ancient beast. Wang Lin's expression was still calm. He was completely indifferent to the man's gaze. The youth's origin soul was trembling, but she still stood before Wang Lin. Wang Lin looked at the youth's back and began to ponder. Sun Ling took a deep breath and clenched his teeth. "Senior, as long as he doesn't step out, I'm responsible for his safety. Besides, he is only a core formation cultivator." "Senior." The man in purple frowned. Being refuted so many times with his identity made displeasure appear in his heart. "You, back." However, before the man in purple finished speaking, Wang Lin suddenly spoke up. "Enough." Wang Lin's expression was neutral as he walked out of the formation at the entrance. At the moment he walked out, Sun Ling immediately said, "Why did you leave? Come back." She was about to crush the jade in her hand. This jade would send out a message. Wang Lin turned around. He faintly smiled and said, "There is no problem." With that, Wang Lin walked toward the man in purple. A blue mist appeared. It surrounded the area and blocked Sun Ling's sight. There were 30 steps between Wang Lin and the man in purple. Wang Lin looked extremely calm as he walked toward him. The man in purple was initially very comfortable, but as Wang Lin closed in, he felt a pressure coming from Wang Lin. This pressure was very powerful. When Wang Lin was only 10 steps from him, the pressure almost reached its peak. The man in purple's expression slightly changed and his eyes lit up brightly. He stared at Wang Lin, and instead of stepping back, he forced himself to stay still. Wang Lin didn't stop and took another step forward. The moment that step landed, it was as if a thunderous roar exploded in the man's mind. It was as if that step hadn't landed on the ground but in his mind. The man couldn't help but back up 1 step. Back up 1 step, back up many step. Wang Lin took 8 steps, and each step was like a thunderclap in the man in purple's mind. As he took each step, the effect seemed to stack. This created a storm inside the man's mind. As he continued to back up, his expression became pale. His eyes were filled with shock as he looked at Wang Lin. On the final step, Wang Lin lifted his foot and looked at the man in purple. There was a hint of coldness in his eyes as he suddenly stepped down. If the steps from before were gradually building up power, then this last step was an outburst of all the power that gathered from before. The man in purple's expression changed greatly. He backed up without hesitation and clasped his hands. "Fellow cultivator, I had no ill intent." Wang Lin coldly looked at the man and walked past him. The man in purple let out a wry smile and followed after Wang Lin. When the blue mist disappeared, there was no trace of anything that had happened. Sun Ling didn't feel what happened inside the mist. She let out a sigh and sat down in the lotus position under the rock once more. It will be very difficult for him to live after being taken away by that senior. The youth was afraid for a while before closing her eyes and going back to cultivating. She had fulfilled her duty. After reaching the northern part of the city, Wang Lin leisurely walked toward the whole treasure pavilion on the east side. The man in purple put on a wry smile and said, "Fellow cultivator Shu, my name is Sun Shi. I had no ill intent earlier." Due to his status, he would normally never speak to someone with the same cultivation level as him like this. However, when he tested this person earlier, this Shu Mu's cultivation was too mysterious and he wasn't able to see any clues at all. This wasn't the most important part. He felt a sense of confidence and powerful killing intent from Wang Lin. This aura could only come from someone who had killed someone of the same cultivation level, and not just once. This was the only way to gain this aura of self-confidence. This Sun Shi was one of the 3 ascendant cultivators on planet Ranyun. He was the old ancestor of the Sun family, an early-stage ascendant cultivator. After finishing his cultivation at the seabed, he rushed over to this city. Wang Lin calmly said, "I warned you before." In his heart, although Sun Shi was at the same cultivation level as him, he didn't consider him an equal. In fact, Wang Lin didn't consider any cultivator on planet Ranyun a threat. Moreover, this Sun Shi had come even after hearing his warning, which meant that Sun Shi had come to ask for a favor. Even so, Sun Shi needed to be punished, or else there would be more trouble in the future. This was why Wang Lin's tone was not polite at all. Wang Lin had cultivated for almost 1,000 years and had experienced many things in his life. Most of the time, when you treat a person like a person, they treat you like you're weak. However, if you treat them like they're weak, they will treat you like you are strong. This was the same as the children back in Wang Lin's village. Those that showed weakness were bullied. Those that were smart would show their strength, so other children rarely provoked them. This was even the same for Wang Lin's family back then. The strong and weak would never be on equal footing, the difference was as wide as heaven and earth. This was a type of mentality. If you are weak, the other person is strong. If you are strong, the other person is weak. Wang Lin had cultivated for many years, so he understood many things. Sun Shi pondered. After a long time, he wryly smiled. This was me being reckless, but I have an important thing to ask, so I was a bit hasty. Wang Lin didn't reply but continued walking forward. Sun Shi clenched his teeth and said, "Brother Shu, if you help me this once, I can use the entire Sun family to help you cultivate." Wang Lin calmly said, "Your family can't afford to nurture 2 ascendant cultivators." Sun Shi's eyes became serious and he said, "Brother Shu, my Sun family indeed can't support 2 ascendant cultivators. However, if you help me, I can give you the spot to enter the Thunder Celestial Realm in a century." Wang Lin paused and looked sideways at Sun Shi. He withdrew his gaze and continued walking forward. "I believe that Brother Shu also knows that whenever my All-Heaven Star System's Thunder Celestial Realm opens, all the Thunder Cauldrons used for entering the Thunder Celestial Realm are controlled by the Thunder Celestial Hall. It's be impossible for an outsider to obtain them. Only people of my All-Heaven Star System and families recorded in the Thunder Celestial Hall can obtain a spot." Sun Shi's eyes were half closed as if he was just randomly explaining the details. Very few people who had reached the ascendant stage weren't cunning. This Sun Shi was also the founding ancestor of his family, so he was very cunning. Earlier, under Wang Lin's pressure, he had to act weak, but now he began his counterattack. The explanation also pointed out his suspicion of Wang Lin's history. Wang Lin faintly smiled. "Your family has a junior named Sun Xueshan. Is he doing well?" Sun Shi's eyes revealed a strange light and gave Wang Lin a meaningful look, then he smiled. Xueshan has good cultivation, but not enough experience. I'm very grateful that Brother Shu saved him. The two smiled at each other and withdrew their gazes. Sun Shi's dread toward Wang Lin became even stronger. He glanced at Wang Lin from the side and sighed in his heart. This person's origin is mysterious and his way of thinking is extremely profound. Sun Qiming's scouting before was immediately seen through by him. He was able to dissolve the doubt that I pointed out about his identity by mentioning Xueshan. He has already changed his appearance, so at most I can only pretend to not notice and not dig any further into this matter. However, he admitted to it himself, which is strange. He is obviously not afraid that I know. His cultivation level is also very high, far above mine. Someone like this is someone my Sun family must become friends with and not make an enemy out of. Planet Donglin. Could this person really be from planet Donglin? Sun Shi silently pondered. Sun Shi asked, "Is Brother Shu satisfied with my proposal? We will discuss this matter later. I'll need some time to consider it." Wang Lin easily dodged the question. Sun Shi secretly sighed and no longer tried to test Wang Lin. He began introducing planet Ran Yun to Wang Lin. As the two talked, they arrived at the whole treasure pavilion in the east side of the city. Today was the day of the auction at the whole treasure pavilion, so there were a lot of cultivators gathered outside. There were more than 10 people working reception and leading people according to the level displayed on their tokens. The moment Sun Shi and Wang Lin closed, Sun Qiming, who had been waiting outside the pavilion, quickly walked up to them. His eyes were filled with respect as he bowed. Third-generation Sun Qiming greets old ancestor and senior Shu. Sun Shi revealed his majesty before others. He didn't speak and simply nodded. Sun Qiming had arrived at the whole treasure pavilion earlier. Although the whole treasure pavilion belonged to the Ran family, Sun Qiming was the head of the Sun family in this city, so he naturally had higher status compared to other people. He personally led Wang Lin and Sun Shi directly to the 4th floor instead of allowing a worker to lead them. The youth named Lu that had blocked Wang Lin from entering before was talking to some customers. When he saw Wang Lin, he raised his head. He was immediately startled, but then he saw Sun Qiming and was immediately shocked. As for Sun Shi, Lu didn't know who he was, but when he noticed how respectful Sun Qiming was, he assumed that Sun Shi was someone with very high status in the Sun family. When he looked Wang Lin, the youth named Lu felt like he had missed something. The whole treasure pavilion was divided into 4 floors. The 4th floor was divided into rooms. Sun Shi and Wang Lin sat down inside the first room from the left. The location was excellent, they could see the auction on the 2nd floor at a glance. Sun Qiming respectfully stood on the side, waiting for Sun Shi's order. At the moment he entered, Wang Lin suddenly had a strange feeling. It was as if something inside his mind had stirred. When he spread out his divine sense, he immediately saw the old figure in the 3rd floor. It's him. Wang Lin was startled and immediately withdrew his divine sense. The imprint on his body is very light, most of it has already dissipated. There is a problem here. Sun Shi looked at Wang Lin and slowly said, "Brother Shu, this rank 8 pill has some history. This pill does not come from planet Ran Yun but from a foreign cultivator who was seriously injured and fled here. I, the Ran family's ancestor, and Carefree Jusha worked together to steal it. The cultivator died to the Ran family's ancestor." Wang Lin frowned, then he glanced at Sun Shi but didn't speak. He didn't want to know secrets like this, but Sun Shi still told him. It probably had some relation to the matter Sun Shi wanted to ask his help for. Sun Shi pretended not to see Wang Lin's gaze and continued, "This was 4 years ago. This pill is very precious, especially to ascendant cultivators like us. There was not one but a total of 5 pills. Me and Carefree Jusha both obtained 1 each. The Ran family's ancestor is at the mid-stage of ascendant, so he took 3 of the pills." Wang Lin's expression remained the same as he looked at the 2nd floor as if he wasn't listening. Sun Shi didn't mind and continued, "It was just that the pills were a bit hot. We saw a token of the Huan family of Planet Thousand Illusion in bag of the cultivator the Ran family's ancestor killed." Wang Lin turned his head, looked at Sun Shi, and blandly said, Fellow cultivator Sun, I don't like listening to stories. Sun, she faintly smiled and said, Brother Shu, if I hadn't told you this story, someone else would have. This city belongs to my Sun family, yet the pill is being auctioned here. I believe that with Brother Shu's wisdom, you should be aware of the reason. Wang Lin's expression was neutral. He had his doubts before, but because he didn't understand the all-heaven star system that well, he didn't think about it. However, now that Sun she had pointed it out, his gaze swept past the second floor and became cold. Sun she had always been staring at Wang Lin's expression. At the moment he saw the coldness in Wang Lin's eyes, he felt relief, as his goal was reached. He no longer spoke, he poured himself a cup of tea and began tasting it. The coldness only flashed across Wang Lin's eyes for an instant before disappearing. Unless the mid-stage ascendant cultivator of the Ran family allowed it, how could it be auctioned here? The price of this pill must have been as high as the heavens. Also, this pill was useless to people below the ascendant stage. Not only would it be useless to most people, the high profile of the auction would make them a target. Anyone who was smart wouldn't buy it. A cultivator below the ascendant stage couldn't consume a rank 8 pill. If they consumed it, it would be the same as devouring poison. The reason the pill was auctioned here was Wang Lin. The Ran cultivator wanted to secretly tempt Wang Lin into buying the pill. Wang Lin didn't feel it was strange that the Ran family cultivator knew he was here. After all, the planet was named after the Ran family. If they didn't have any methods, they wouldn't have maintained their family's current status. Taking the pill would be tantamount to participating in the matter from 4 years ago. Even if he tried to explain it to the Huan family, it would be pointless. What deep scheming! Wang Lin's expression was calm, but his heart was on guard. No ascendant cultivator was easy to deal with, and no one that founded a family was weak. The Ran family controls the auction, so no one else will buy this pill. If I don't buy it, then the Ran family will find another method to drag me into this. The auction on the second floor had begun. Various magical weapons, materials, and pills were bidded upon. Sun she put down the tea and muttered to himself, unfortunately, for years ago, that person didn't have time to tell us his identity before the 3 of us sneak attacked him and killed him. If we had known that he was from the Huan family, then we wouldn't have dared to attack. The Huan family of Planet Thousand Illusion is extremely overbearing. If their family members are killed, everyone implicated is killed. Even if one obtains something from their family members through an auction, they will still incur their wrath. What the Huan family wants is absolute status. Even if things from a Huan family member's bag of holding were placed before you, you still wouldn't dare to take it and instead would willingly return it. Otherwise, you can only hope they don't find you, but you will forever live in fear while worrying for your life. Unfortunately, I'm still afraid to consume the pill I have. Wang Lin didn't speak, his gaze was still on the second floor. A man's voice came from the second floor. The next item in the auction is a rank 8 pill. This pill can only be taken by ascendant cultivators. If anyone below the ascendant stage takes it, their body will explode and they will die. Now the auction will start. 10,000 celestial jades. A middle-aged man wearing red robes on the second floor of the auction hall held a jade box in his hand. He opened it, revealing a pill the size of a baby's fist. It didn't give off any medicinal fragrance, the pill looked very normal. Waves of discussion echoed in the hall. Every cultivator here naturally had good eyesight. A rank 8 pill was an absolutely rare treasure for them. However, if one's cultivation level wasn't high enough, this pill would be like poison. If it couldn't be consumed, then keeping it on them would be a curse. Any cultivator who didn't have the ability to protect it would encounter a great disaster the moment they left the city. As a result, although the hall was filled with discussion, in the end, no one bidded. Some young cultivators wanted to bid, but they were immediately stopped by the elders near them. In their eyes, this object was not a pill but a human head. Whoever buys this pill will lose possession of their head. Moreover, this matter was simply too strange. How could the Ran family sell a pill like this? Could the Ran family's ancestor not need this pill? Why would he auction it? Some with more active minds began to become filled with uncertainty, and they became even less willing to bid. Time slowly passed and still no one bidded at all. The man in red wasn't impatient at all, as he wasn't surprised. The Ran family carefully sent out the tokens for the people to participate at this auction. They were confident that none of them would bid for this pill. If anyone was so blind, then the Ran family wouldn't mind killing them to steal it back. The man's gaze sometimes swept by the fourth floor before he loudly said, "Is anyone willing to bid? If no one is willing to bid, the rank 8 pill will be stored in our whole treasure pavilion." Wang Lin's gaze lingered on the pill for a long time. His eyes revealed a hint of coldness, and then he calmly said, "1 celestial jade. If you want to sell it to me, then I'll buy it." Although his voice was calm, it was clearly heard by every cultivator on the second floor. After an instant, there were bursts of discussions. 1 piece of celestial jade? Who is this? Could he be crazy? The starting price was 10,000 celestial jades, yet this person actually said 1 piece. This is ridiculous, even for the whole treasure pavilion. Something like this has never happened before. The Ran family stands behind the whole treasure pavilion. This kind of behavior will indeed attract a great disaster. This is clearly trying to embarrass the whole treasure pavilion. The sound should be from the 4th floor. Anyone who is on the 4th floor is not simple, but doing this is offending the Ran family. The man wearing red was startled, and he raised his head toward the 4th floor. He was not from this city but someone from the main Ran family. His purpose was to sell the pill to a specific person. He wryly smiled in his heart as the person he was waiting for appeared and made a bid. However, the price was not acceptable. If this price was accepted, it would be tantamount to telling everyone that there was some big secret behind this sale. The Ran family's reputation would take a hit, and more importantly, if it was sold to this person, it would tell everyone that the Ran family was afraid. Absolutely no one would believe that a rank 8 pill would sell for 1 celestial jade. However, if it really did happen, it would create a series of unimaginable troubles. However, he had to sell it. The old ancestor had already ordered that this pill must be auctioned off here. Inside the room in the 4th floor, Sun Shi, who had the teacup next to his mouth, was startled. His eyes filled with a strange expression, then he put down the cup and sighed. "Brother Shu, I admire you. I admire you." Sun Chiming was also very serious and was speechless for a while. A single piece of celestial jade to purchase a rank 8 pill. Not only them, but even the youth named Lu had his eyes opened wide and was incredibly shocked. That voice was very familiar. It was the youth he had stopped outside several days ago. At the moment he heard Wang Lin bid 1 celestial jade, the youth named Lu muttered to himself, "This person has gone crazy." At this moment, no one noticed that in the single room on the 3rd floor, an old man's mind shook violently after hearing that voice. He suddenly raised his head to look at the 4th floor, and his eyes revealed a strange light. This isn't his voice, but why did my mind tremble? In this old man's life, only that Chen Nyo has left a brand in my soul. The old man was silent for a long time. He stood up, and after hesitating, he sat down. Then he began to stare blankly at the ground. My brand should have been broken on planet Donglin, so why is it still there? The red-robed man on the 2nd floor hesitated for a while before clenching his teeth. Since only 1 person has bid, then it will be sold for 1 celestial jade. Wang Lin revealed a sneer and his right hand reached out. The pill flew out of the red-robed man's hand and into Wang Lin's hand, then he threw out a piece of celestial jade. Then he clasped his hands at Sun Shi and left. Wang Lin completely ignored the uproar behind him. With 1 step, he teleported outside the whole treasure pavilion. Just 1 pill isn't enough to drag me into this. Wang Lin walked away from the pavilion. On the 3rd floor, the old man clenched his teeth and disappeared. After Wang Lin arrived at a remote place, he turned around. The old man from the whole treasure pavilion appeared behind him. He carefully looked at Wang Lin and revealed a look of doubt. Noticing Wang Lin's gaze, the old man sighed and said, "Fellow cultivator, this old man mistook you for someone else. I hope you won't take offense." He turned around and walked off into the distance. This figure was filled with vicissitudes. Wang Lin pondered a bit and slowly said, "Sun Tai, 1. The head elder of the corpse sect on planet Suzaku. He was the one Zhu Yi left an imprint on to be a slave to Wang Lin. He was teleported away by the giant demon clan ancestors' bloodline power when he came to save Wang Lin. But he was also the one who placed seal on Wang Lin's cultivation at the time as well. The moment those two words entered the old man's ears, his entire body shook. He jerked his head, looked at Wang Lin with shock, and exclaimed, "You. It really is you." Wang Lin scanned Sun Tai with his divine sense before frowning and saying, "How could the giant demon clan ancestors' bloodline ability have sent you to the All-Heaven star system?" Sun Tai revealed a bitter expression and said, "I was also puzzled about this for hundreds of years. To my understanding, the bloodline ability shouldn't be this strong." Wang Lin asked, "The brand on your body is very weak. Why?" Sun Tai pondered a bit and said, "Do you know about planet Dong Lin in the All-Heaven star system?" Wang Lin's eyes narrowed, and he didn't let Sun Tai continue speaking. He waved his sleeves and the two of them disappeared. They reappeared outside his house in the northern part of the city. Wang Lin led Sun Tai into the house. After sitting down in the lotus position, Wang Lin looked at Sun Tai and said, "You can speak now. This video will end here."